Thank you very much, Luke Riches. And yes, welcome viewers to Pro Billiard TV. You join us on day 6 of the Pro Billiard series, and the Billard Beckmann Men's Open is underway. From 96 players, we're down to the quarterfinals stage, and this, a match which has already played out once on one occasion at this event. Kunlin Wu is taking on Clenti KACI. It is a 10-ball event. Races to 4, best of 3 sets, winner breaks. My name's Gethin Davis. Pleasure to be joined in the commentating box, calling the shots. My dear friend and colleague, Eric Horlifson. Welcome, Eric. What are you thinking?
Yeah, hey, pleasure to be with you guys. As you mentioned, this is a rematch of a first-round match between these two players. Eklund won that match, I believe, 4-2, 4-2 in straight sets. He played very well. Had a low break success, but still ended up winning the match. It's not much between them, Gethin. I mean, you're talking Fargo-wise. KACI in the top 10, Kunlin in the top 25. I'm looking forward to a good one here.
Yeah, agreed. You have to say KACI flying high, unbeaten so far. Came through the winner's side with his first match being that win against Kunlin Wu. But Kunlin's had to come the harder way, and he's had some very tricky opponents to get to this stage, so he will be flying high. I'm just wondering if the earlier result will give him a little bit of a taste of wanting revenge, but it will be KACI getting this opening set underway.
Nice hit, 9-ball down. KACI mixes it up as far as starting location more than most players. He breaks from the middle almost predominantly. He decided to start on the side rail for this match. Successful one.
Yeah, it's interesting, Eric. You mentioned the break success. We have historically been able to make as many notes as possible whilst commentating here in the box, but our colleague Mike Salmon bringing the live statistics for this and our match on table 1. It does give you a better insight to how their tournament has progressed or not, or how matches have progressed for them. I have seen KACI warm into the break in matches previous to this, but this will be a good opening sign for him. The 9 going down, not the 1, but he doesn't have anything offensive. However, defensive, Eric, he's played that very nicely, nearly locking the cue ball against the 3.
Yeah, 3 balls to possibly get behind here with the 1 or the cue ball. I think he'll favor hitting it at slower speed. Ideal result would be clipping the top side of the 1 and running the cue ball into the 8. I went higher speed. Created some distance. But a window between the 2-4 and a shot at the 1 for KACI in the side.
Yeah, the safety paying dividends at the moment. A little bit of traffic to navigate if he wants to come back down to the left half of the table as we're looking at it. The check side working, Eric, but that cue ball's run on a little.
Yeah, he's going to have to back off again here. Only outside the box offense would be to carry him the 10 in. Try to control the 2, and I think he might be thinking about it. It's thin in the 10. Too aggressive on that one. Did go. Shot.
Wow. If that gave you an indication as to Clenty's game plan, Eric, that shot certainly showed if he feels the closing patterns on, and something like that with maybe not as high as percentage will give him the opportunity to, he's going to take it. Good early signs.
Yeah, rest of the table looking good here. It's going to look to get straight on the 5, and if he achieves that, pretty much on stop position for the next 3 balls. Short here. Wasn't playing for this corner, but he will be taking it in the top left now.
A bit more consideration for that cue ball as well, unless he fancies the thin cut. Is that what he's dressing up for there?
That's what he was measuring him up. I'm surprised, and I think he's going to go back to the top left here.
I have to say both players going strong in our Predator mixed doubles open event as well. Both find themselves in the quarterfinals that will take place for our closing matches today. So they've both been getting lots of table time, both in this men's open event and the doubles open. And quite a few of them have been on the TV tables, Eric, so they will not be a stranger to the lights here.
Yeah, and successful matches on the TV tables, too. This one's gone wrong.
Combination would be very ambitious.
Yeah, even more than the previous carom he played. I really don't see him comboing at the 7 here. He's going to try to play the 6 to the middle of the short rail and involve the 10. The cue ball. It's fine as well. 2-ball wall there. He's left the left edge. Kunlin will have to line the cue ball up with the 7-8 again.
Yeah, if he can just push it over, that 6 over, and bring the cue ball back slightly shorter. KACI will be faced with something similar, but no look at the 6. Got more containing.
Decision again for Eklund. I think he's going to try to play a 2-way bank here. Really trying to make the 6, but if he doesn't, 7 and 8 can afford him cover.
Yeah, that's what he's called. It's going in the right direction.
Shot.
Yeah, good opening offense. Well, I have to say his actual opening was putting Kunlin in trouble and reaping rewards from that, but has had to come up with a couple of offensive shots here and a good safety in response as well.
Kunlin's been successful in the Pro Billiards series in the past. He's won the Las Vegas Open, runner-up at the World Team Championships, winner of a mixed doubles event. His partner Han Yu, and they're into the quarterfinals of the doubles event again this time. Very smooth player, very finesseful player. One of the nicest players to really watch on tour.
Yeah, and very consistent as well. Kunlin won the World 9-ball title at a really young age, and possibly the youngest, back in 2015, and has remained strong since. But KACI off to the best start here, getting off first, putting a point on the board. These are quick races to 4. Mentioned, and you heard the introduction from Luke Riches. We have all 4 quarterfinals underway. Over on table 1, a home hopeful, the Austrian Mad Max Lechner, is taking on the very tough German at the moment, Felix Vogel, who went to a thrilling shootout against another Austrian, Albin Ushan, beating him in a very tough shootout. Over on table 3, Oliver Zolnocki is taking on Jonas Islandboy Suto. And on table 4, the remaining one, Mateusz Snigocki against Georgi Georgiev. And again, another player who played formidably in the last round to take out Joshua Filler. There's some tough matches out there, Eric. It's difficult to pick one between them, to be fair.
Yeah, a couple upsets that happened yesterday. Gorse going out, Filler going out. So you'd want to think that those players are in top form, but of course so is everybody. This men's field just ultra competitive, so everyone left playing well. Nine ball wanted to go in the same pocket. It hasn't, but he has the 7 down in the bottom right. Now look at the 1 again, unless there's a small window. He's in the way of the camera angle. On the right angle there, but we couldn't see. Might have to throw it in with some left.
He generates great power in the break. Got a good spread. A couple of balls threatened.
Yeah, it does go, Gavin.
Yeah, I was going to say, so far 100% success on the break, but Eric, I wasn't too sure if he'd get a ball after it. That would suggest he does. This could be a good opportunity.
See how aggressively he plays the cue ball here. Yeah, he had enough that he didn't even have to throw it. Got a little closer. Option now to play the 3 in the top left or come back for the combo in the side. Combo's a little more conducive to speed. Looks like he will. Taking a look at the other option, which is 2 rails across and in the top left.
I feel really, it's just getting shape on this 3 will open the rack up to be somewhat of a gimme.
Yes, these little decisions like this that these world-class players make so well. It doesn't matter a ton in the end, but you know, he just recognized that he wanted to hit that at a little more speed. You would think playing into a combo wouldn't be as good, but it is more important to just make the 2 there in that spot.
Yeah, it's really amazing how they summarize their percentages and take advantage of maybe putting themselves in a different position, but guaranteeing the right shape on a ball, for instance. That's worked out kind of nice. I thought he was going to leave the 3 over the pocket, Eric, but he's played it in such a fashion knowing it was going to come down available for the bottom left corner.
I did too, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, he purposely played it off the thinner side instead of risking hitting it too thin and then getting off to one side or the other of the side pocket. It's little plays like that that you're going to just see a lot of right choices in these quarterfinals onwards.
Yeah, Clenty, we were talking about their mixed doubles performances so far. Clenty's teamed up with Christina to catch. Very interesting for us in the box, Eric, having to keep saying team to catch KACI. A bit of a tongue twister. I'm wondering if they knew that in advance.
Someone in the chat the other day, I think, just said might as well just call them Team KACI, which would sum it up finally.
Yeah, I would second that. It would certainly save my tongue twisting back here. Now, there's a very good opportunity for KACI to push on and expand on his first rack. And well, we haven't got to see much of Kunlin, and his opportunities have been in relatively safe positions. So you'd have to say going to plan for KACI. But as you pointed out, he's just been making some decisions which have ensured these difficult patterns that he's had to take on have just looked easy, I guess, Eric.
Yeah, coming with his first break-in run of the match. All positive signs here for Eklund. It's going to be up to Kunlin to respond. Just be looking for a chance at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. With winner breaks, making balls on the break can really lend itself to stealing a march in these sets. So far, the swing is going KACI's way. Kunlin looking for that opportunity just to get back into play and get his teeth into this opening set. So far, KACI 100% from the break. And the score rewarding him. Noticed in a few earlier matches, Eric, that some players were just taking a little bit of venom out of their breaks, and the collisions on the one ball to the side pocket were being eliminated and getting a lot more reward from the break. KACI just never seems to think like that. His power, so far, reaping him rewards.
Yeah, I think the most consistent breaker I've seen on the Pro Billiards series has been Fedor Gorst, and he kind of hits them at 60% speed, kind of throws a bit of a cut in there sometimes. And by consistent, I mean the one going in the side, breaking from the side rail. KACI's advantage is if he doesn't make the one, there's balls flying everywhere, and he's just hoping that one of them finds a pocket. Eight's got a chance, gonna go long. Nothing down this time. And KACI has won the World Championships on 2 occasions with this breaking format. Actually broke from the middle both those times. Going from the side rail today.
Yeah, I've seen him with great success from the center. Normally, when there's a magic rack involved, this with the hand rack in, he tends to prefer it from the side, or certainly has done for most of this tournament. Now, Eric, our first chance, or rather second opportunity at a look at the table, and look, Kunlin hasn't got any look at that one. He's got to play a push, Eric.
Yeah, all you can call it is a table visit. He hasn't really had any way to defend himself too much yet. Good push here. Nothing high percentage on the save for Eklund. Didn't realize he had the right side of it. This will actually play a little better for him. Has a chance to get the 1 behind the 3-5-10. And the cue ball in line with the 2-8. Ooh, a little short.
Yeah. May not be able to see the potting edge Eric. But if he can, it looks like he's going to be running into that cluster, or wanting to even.
Yeah, gonna have to jump at it. Gonna have to avoid the top right with the cue ball here. Wow, close to a scratch, but he's okay.
Oh, that final nudge on the 9 as well has left him in good position on this 2, but what did the 9 do to the 3, Eric?
Yeah, it's completely trapped in there. And I don't believe there's any way to break into it. Can follow 2 rails forward and try to get to the middle of the table. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, I was just wondering if he didn't feel any value, or if there wasn't a way to get safe from the 3. If there was the opportunity to play now from the 2 and lock up behind the 8 perhaps, but just looks very ugly, that cluster of 4 up there.
Yeah, he's not going to press the issue here. I would have personally, but tough to argue with where he's left the cue ball here.
Oh, it's nestled in nicely in amongst the 10 and 5. That's what he was aiming for. 1 rail escape for Clenty. Looks like he's going to have to put a little bit of voodoo on it.
Yeah, side pocket's right in the way of where he wants to be kicking. Gonna try to go forward and play a bunch of right spin. Spinning the cue ball a little wider. Queuing over top of 2 balls here, Gethin. Tricky spot.
Yeah, I was looking at other options, maybe a 2-railer through the window of the 8-7, but this fraught with danger. Oh.
You know, the spots these world-class players get out of, it's just... They're not going to do that every time, but it happens more often than not.
And Kunlin, yet again, just not getting anything to be able to bite down on. Not as yet. But he's a very patient player, and he's done that nicely as well, opening up that cluster. I don't think he's left it on. Be a real shame if he did. Dancing to the beat of the shot clock. Clenty's rushed back to get his jump stick, so that would suggest the 7 is hampering this. Didn't hear if he called it the 2.
Sorry.
There's another
roll here. All Kunlin's had is defensive chances. He's going to slow roll this one, try to get the cue ball behind the 5. Has to be hit precisely.
I think that's
No
a
rail,
foul.
would you believe it? Wow. Hit it very well.
Yeah, that's a shame. Wu has not had very much look in at all so far, and although coming to the table on a few occasions in this 3rd rack, Eric hasn't had anything. He's given away ball in hand, but a crucial point in this opening set. Possibility for KACI to push onto the hill in, well, convincing fashion. Looking for a second foul. A little smirk from Clenty there. I think that's not safe.
Yeah, wild that he didn't get safe on that one. He's just trying to play something a little more advanced rather than just pushing the 2 past the 5. But it's bit him here. And finally, Kunlin in a half advantageous spot.
He's played 2 delightful safety shots so far in this match. Rather in this rack. Now, KACI's going over the 10. Maybe looking to keep the cue ball down behind that 4 balls of four cluster there. He did, but that 2 balls come right the way back round, and patience may have rewarded Kunlin here, and some great safety play, because he's now at the table and he's having a good look to see if that 2 can pass.
Calling the carom here. And 2.5 games in, that's the first ball down for Kunlin.
Yeah, and that is a little unfortunate, the way that he's come out of that carom. Going to play it left-handed on the back of the knuckles.
Big advantage here to be able to play both hands, but he's missed it. And might have caught another unlikely window here. It's there.
That's very unfortunate, Eric. Looked like
He might.
there was always going to pick up a bit of cover.
I was going to say he might have to swerve it, but he's not even cueing any spin. Look at that window through 4 balls. Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it's come up a
And
little
even-
heavy here.
that was as gentle as he was prepared to play that, Eric, and it wasn't gentle enough.
Well, especially rolling through such a tight space. No good.
No, didn't want the bump on the 5, just wanted to hug it. Now, this is actually an opportunity for Kunlin, and he'll be desperate to convert it.
There's 2 times when Kunlin could have got a little more aggressive, and I'm surprised he didn't, considering the scoreline. Well, there's nothing wrong with just taking the slightly higher percentage shot. But sometimes just, giving up a little bit on the percentage to stay at the table, especially when you're trailing, I think has to be considered.
Yeah, I think that's the key point, Eric. He needs to get something happening and can't keep turning down 50% opportunities, because there will be one occasion KACI will get out of trouble with success and it can flip the rack on its head. So may have been rewarded here. Needs to hold for the 4.
Good shot, and he's in good offensive position now.
Yeah, this would be a very important rack to put on the board, Eric. He will, in the winner break format, back to the table and will give us a look at his break. Because you could blink and miss this chap and find yourself 2 or 3 racks in the other direction. So how important this one will prove to be, we'll find out, but his patience could really pay off.
Cheated the thick side of the pocket there to hold the angle to the right of the 7. Ended up a little straight. Doesn't need much angle. Doesn't have to move the cue ball that far. Nicely played.
Yeah, very nicely played, and now can let the cue ball just run through a little for the 9, and you have to say great composure from Wu. Certainly not very comfortable, Eric. Coming to the table every time with nothing can become very frustrating. On this occasion, looks like Kunlin will and has put his first point on the board, and at a very good time, preventing his opponent from getting to the hill and retaining the break. Just having a quick look at our other quarter-final matches that are very much underway. Over on table 1, the matchup between the home hopeful Max Lechner and Felix Vogel of Germany. Well, they're tied up at 2 apiece in their opening set. Over on our outside table, Matthias Snogocki is trailing 2-1 to George Georgiev. And our final table, which is over on table 3, Oliver Zolnocki and Jonas Suto also locked 2-2. As you see Felix Vogel at the table. We were talking about exciting matches, Eric. He had one fantastic shootout against a home crowd that was supporting Albin. His composure at his age, second to none. This could be his Austrian Open.
Yeah, this is the deepest run by a male junior player in the Pro Billiards series. It's the current world junior 10-ball champion. Ball flying in. And a shot on the 1, Gethin.
Oh, I was just checking on the live stats. I'm pretty sure this is the first break from Kunlin. It would have been the first opening break otherwise, and I don't believe so. I'm sure KACI won the lag.
He did, and both players have made a ball on all 3 breaks so far.
Yep, and I have to say from the spread, Eric, it does look rather appetizing. And this, a complete contrast to what Kunlin has been presented with so far. Good early signs from Kunlin's break.
Yeah, they've actually been 3 for 4 on the break. Eklund didn't make one on his last break, did on his first 2. These
Yeah,
arc
just
tables with the black pocket backings are at 4¼ inches. So breaking very important. On open tables, you would consider these world-class players to be big favorites to get through the whole rack. We've played on the gold arc tables a couple times. Those are closer to 4 inches. Just for the viewers at home, you would think, well, how much is a 1/4 inch? How much difference does a 1/4 inch make? It makes a huge difference. Yeah.
When it comes to pool, it definitely does. This 6-ball passing the 9 helped, although the position Kunlin had in that for the last 5-ball rather, he could come either side. This looking very good and able now just to let the stroke out a bit and get that pep in the step, and we'll be back to 2 apiece, Eric, and this is livening up already in the opening set.
Yeah, anybody's game here now. KACI really hasn't done anything wrong. There's a couple safes that went out of line in rack 3, actually high percentage ones. He just didn't end up covering.
This is a very useful break and run, Eric. What a time to drop it in. KACI sat in his chair, watching his 2-0 lead evaporate. Kunlin with a break and run to bring the scoreline to 2 apiece in this opening set, locking it up very nicely and teeing it up for quite a finish in this opening set, especially if he can return with another break and run. Just a quick look out at the arena. All matches bar our match on table 1 at 2-2 in their opening set. Oh no, we just had an update. Oliver Zolnocki has taken 3-2 lead against Jonas Suto. Felix Vogel leading 3-2 over on table 1 against Mac Lechner. So, Kunlin, Eric, would like another, just like he had.
Both players breaking from the same location. Both players with good success so far. That's the one this time. Bill's going to be down, so a chance for KACI to get the lead back here.
Yeah, he'll be happy to be back to the table. There are options for safe, but as we've seen, KACI is more than happy to take on a bank shot if he feels the value's there. That 4-8 looks pretty nicely lined up for a combination as well, so he won't be too perturbed by that 4-8.
Yeah, it should be a game winner if he makes it. Only reason he hasn't got down and committed to it is because if he doesn't make it, he's very likely to leave it in the open. No two-way element here. Did try to kind of play it 2 ways, and he got caught in the in between there.
Oh, it's a little bit of a gnarly jump as well, because it's a bit thinner. I'm wondering if he will play 2 rails to come up behind it. Maybe even call the bottom right pocket.
has the left edge of it. And he can line the 9 or the 10 coming across with the cue ball.
Oh, yeah. He may be able to play it back over towards the 9 and leave the cue ball covered with the 10. Or bring the cue ball up onto the 10, Eric.
Yeah, creative shot there. Playing into the angle of the 10 instead of crossing it over a little bit. Smart shot. It's worked out well.
Yeah, I was about to say, it felt like a missed opportunity with him running out of position there. But this is the recovery you really need to make when you're in a bit of self-induced pain.
Kunlin will be going for the bottom side of the 2 here. Could even hit it 2 rails and have good things happen. Missed the whole ball though.
Oh, he was looking to catch the top edge, Eric, and throw that cue ball up into the traffic at the top of the table. That's not worked out. Ball in hand at this stage could be very costly for Kunlin.
4-8's a little off angle where the 4 is going to play to the right of the 8, I believe. So he'll be looking for an angle where he can get the cue ball moving to the right as well. I like where he's pointing there. Just take the cue ball to the short rail.
You'd have to feel that's the shot for this pattern, really, where any hiccups could be on the horizon. He's come up a lot higher than I thought he was going to go, Eric.
Yeah, more angle was better than less, but he does have more than he was intending for.
Yep, made that well and kept everything nice and out in the open. Looking at taking the 5 into the left side, meaning he won't need to do too much with the cue ball here, Eric, and at the moment looking like Clenty will be the first player to take the hill in our opening set.
Yeah, and he has a break and run under his belt so far. So proving to be a threat in the lockout department. He will be breaking in rack number 6 if he's able to make these last 5.
Yeah, that's a good point, Eric. Kunlin just sent that same shot across KACI's bow as well. So they'll both know that getting on the hill first could be more than just advantage.
Looks like the crowd's dispersed a little bit on table 1. Probably have a first set winner. Interested to see how Pongau will do over there.
Very astute of you, Eric. There will be some updates on the scores to come. There has been a result over there, but let's stick with Clenty at the moment with the 7-9. Looking quite rudimentary, but still. And that, I would like to say, will be Klenti KACI from Albania, taking the hill first in this opening set. How decisive will this position be? Well, we'll get to see. And as you alluded to, Eric, it has gone a bit quiet and a bit dispersed over on table one. And that's because the young German Felix Vogel has taken the opening set 1-0, and the home hopeful with the home crowd just taken a small dent. Over on our other tables, Georgi Georgiev, who played fantastically in his last match, knocking out one of the favourites, Joshua Filler, currently finds himself 3-2 up against the tough Polish player Matthias Snegocki. And our remaining matchup, Oliver Zolnocki has taken that opening set against Jonas Suto, island boy from Ibiza, hailing from Spain. Could this be a break and run, Eric? Or is there going to be another little twist in the tail of this opening set?
Yeah, it's up to the pool gods. Look, I thought he was considering the middle there for a sec. Let's stick with the side rail.
Yeah, that would have sent the comment section off.
Not this time.
Wowzers. There was a couple of balls threatening, Eric, as you were saying, with the power the KACI generates. If the one is not made, there's plenty of more balls rolling out there, but on this occasion not. And there seems to be quite a nice little delicate shot that Kunling can take on here. And actually, the way he could play it, he could go into it with a bit more power and still keep the cue ball up at the top of the table. So good options here to put KACI in trouble and muscle a nice opportunity.
Yeah, the only negative that can happen, and it actually can, is that he runs underneath the 3 too much, and the cue ball kind of continues on to the left of it. He has to hit it with a slight bit of power to get the one going far enough up table, and a decent amount of thinness too. So it appears easy, but he's going to have to manipulate the cue ball a bit here, maybe with some right. Yeah, see, it got underneath it. That wasn't as easy as it looked there. I like playing with more right spin to kind of guarantee going more squarely into the 3. I'm sure he thought about it, but just backed off that idea in the end. Thought he could get there with straight high.
The only reward being, Eric, is that that one ball didn't track up far enough towards the side pocket to become a tempter. And that's why KACI's just slapped his pocket and is making a couple of facial remarks. He's not completely convinced either. He could try and bank the cue at the one ball to long rail. Is he going for the cut? He called a ball in the bottom right, maybe the 4 even. He went the 2 railer. Yeah, he was having a little look at that. I felt. Oh, he has. And look where the 2 ball.
Yeah, there's enough there. Enough to play direct, but got the combo down. Thin one on the 1 coming now. Set riding.
Yeah, this could be the moment, Eric. this is a big decision because it's natural for the cue ball to come back up the table. In the vicinity of the 2, there is a corner pocket to be considered. Oh, he's avoided the corner pocket. Yeah, brave shot to take on and converted. Nice angle left now to come across the right long rail, bottom right to the top left long rail. Opening up nicely.
Has to avoid the 9 and the 8, playing back for the 5. There is a stunning angle where he's got to be careful because he's going to be stunning to the left of the 9 a fair bit. Could play back into the 8. So might draw all the way across it. Clip the 9. It's okay.
Yeah. Always a little bit difficult to judge because that any contact will take energy out of the cue ball. He's judged that to perfection, you have to say. And has put himself... Now, he's picked this apart very well, Eric. He's put himself in a great position to take this opening set to a hill decider. But there are still 5 balls out there. After potting this 5... Big draw. Oh, he had an angle. I thought he'd fallen straight from his body language, Eric.
Yeah, kind of looked like he was going to power up there. Did have enough to minimize the cue ball movement. He's looking real good here. Slightly the wrong angle on the 8, so going to be forced to take some distance on the 9.
Well, after that one ball he took into the top left pocket, I would safely say he's not afraid to cut most in on this table. And can let the cue ball do the work. And he knows it.
Oh, it's a miss. Unexpected. And what's KACI going to do with this one? It is cuttable, but the cue ball will be flying around if he tries that. Not much for safe. He's going over and looking at the cutting angle, so he is going to go here.
I tell you, Eric, Kunlin had a little look to the heavens on his way to take this shot, or his last shot. It just looked like he realized there was a bit of pressure on it, and that showed. Big shot for KACI. Oh! He went for it, Eric. Unsuccessfully so. Would have been a steal.
Yeah, wild there. He was in such a bad spot, he had to try to kick it in. Biggest thing there was that there was no safe, so he was just forced into such a tough shot and actually hit it well, but didn't get it down. So big developments here in the first set.
Oh, and as my colleague Eric Horlifson alluded to at the beginning of this match, our TV tables have been delivering. Table 2, in my view, even more so. And this looks like it's going to continue with the tradition. It's going all the way in this opening set. Kunlin will return with the break, although it did look like it could flip the other way. It wasn't to be. And a quick update from our other tables. I mentioned early set results in for Felix Vogel taking the opening against Max Lechner on table 1, and Oliver Zolnocki taking the opening one on table 3. Well, Matthias Nagocki and Georgi Georgiev, that's gone all the way. They have a hill decider over there as well. Balls pocketed. Pretty much like for like as well, Eric. This is poised very nicely.
Yeah, all down to one game in the first set here. And it'll be advantage going forward to the player that wins this one.
Well, 50% success. One of them successes, each player has been rewarded in a break and run. Eric mentioned that threw the threat out there that a player on the hill could just keep their opponent in the chair in this winner breaks format. Will this be Kunlin's opportunity?
Nothing down, but no shot on the 1 for KACI. Let's see how aggressive he wants to get here. He's liable to take on a jump like this.
You definitely know on one shoulder there is a voice shouting in his ear, you can jump this, and he's probably got to battle with that most times he's in these situations, to be fair. As you can see from that camera angle, that is what Clenty's facing down the barrel of. He has a good opportunity to push. I've seen him earlier in this Pro Billiard Series Men's Open push into jump shots that he prefers, and on many occasions his opponent will give it to him back. Kunlin quick out of his chair to have a survey.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
the
what
X
he's
factor
done.
here is that, the X factor here is that the cue ball could line up with a 3 coming back. I don't think it'll line up with the 5-9, but there's no guarantee for position. But still, if he does make it, can develop some kind of safe off the 2 and a chance to get perfect here.
Don't be fooled, Eric. He is sometimes prepared to jump into the side of balls to throw the cue ball, the 1 ball across the table, although he did go for that. He sometimes jumps into a ball, throwing it across the table and bringing the cue ball back up to create distance. On that occasion, though, he was going full-blooded for that. That was the trap he'd hoped to set. It hasn't worked out.
Advantage Kunlin now. He's going to want to stick the cue ball nice and close to the 7 here. Has to draw it. Always a little tougher to pinpoint the cue ball, but he's done well.
Ooh. And he did cover the 1 rail escape with the 6. If there was a gap between the 7-4. It's a little trickier now. Can he pick that window between the 3-5?
That's what he was looking at, but he's not over to that angle again now. He's just thinking about how the 1 can play standing on this angle. Yeah, it is there off the right long rail.
Calling the tennis insurance.
Might as well. contact, but shot for Kunlin here. This will be a strong comeback, being down 2-0 without really having a chance.
Yeah, that's the key phrase, Eric. Without really having a good chance. In fact, he's made most of his own chances here. This is a small one. Nice, and that shot has just made, yeah, it's just made this chance a bit bigger, Eric. This now, with that one shot, has opened it up really nicely.
To avoid the 7 coming across for the 5. Decent amount of room inside the 7. He'll favor that.
Yep. Can come underneath it now to play it the 5 into the top right, if that's his preferred route.
Yeah, I think he was playing this, just taking the 7 out of the equation. Lots of room over there. Good now if he's not straight. Yeah, only thing here is he's going to have to leave himself a little close to the rail, but should be good. And as you were saying, Gethin, strong comeback here from Kunlin. Did have that one piece of fortune in rack number 6, missing the 9 and leaving KACI very awkward on it. But other than that, he's played well.
Yeah, he's kept tremendous patience. It was so easy rather, to just find a sense of negativity or drop your head. He was coming to the table each time with really nothing to go at, difficult safeties to get out of. But his persistence and patience really has prevailed, and gives himself this great opportunity. What a turnaround. Can hear a pin drop in the arena. That will be enough.
Toe to toe here, and it looks like Kunlin's going to come out.
I agree, Eric. And this has just got that table 2 vibe about it. Another hill decider opening set. Really could have gone either way. Perhaps KACI just not making the most of safety situations. But again, Kunlin needing just to wait for that opportunity. And with both hands, he's grabbed it, Eric, and full credit to the Chinese Taipei player, Kunlin Wu. He takes this opening set 4-3. KACI out of his chair just to go and call the break. And it looks like we will also join him. We will also join them on their break. But before we go, for that brief moment, just to give you a quick update in the first set results. Felix Vogel 1 set up on Max Lechner. Mateusz Snegocki took the decider in his 1 set up on Georgi Georgiev. Oliver Zolnocki taking that opening set against Jonas Suto. And Eric Horlifson and myself, Gethin Davis, will be back very shortly for the second set in this matchup between Kunlin Wu and Clenti KACI. Kunlin taking in the opener in a hill thriller. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. and a very warm welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this Billard Beckmann Men's Open, coming to you live on Pro Billiard TV, deep in the Austrian Alps at the Alpina Alpendorf Hotel. And this matchup between Kunlin Wu and KACI is really serving up to be a very delicious encounter, going all the way in the opening rack. Kunlin besting over KACI in that one. We will get our second set underway. My name is Gethin Davis. Joining me back in the box to call the shots, my good friend Eric Horlifson. Well, Eric, it's living up to the hype.
Yeah, couldn't be closer in the first set. Kunlin had a miss on the 9 in game number 6, but got away with it. Came out with the set win. Expect another close one here. It's 3 dry breaks in a row, Gethin.
It is. I was just having a look at the statistics during the break. Kunlin picking, or rather pipping, KACI on the player overall percentage, but KACI clearly getting the better from the break. With whether that will serve him well in this second set, well, we'll find out. But at the moment, that break from Kunlin, not successful. However, it's not sold out. KACI will need to go safe on this occasion. Shouldn't really say that, Eric.
Well, that's exactly what I was just going to get at. KACI was a little more offensive of the two, and I guess it worked out decently enough for him. But I did notice Kunlin backed off in a couple spots where he could have been offensive, and it added up to a set win for him. Even in the hill game there, KACI pushing to a jump.
Yeah,
not having it work out.
Yeah, I think KACI's game plan certainly works for him, and he did have opportunities to take that opening set. However, focus now for him will be on this second set, and he returns to the table with no open pocket for the 1. But there's a nice little row of traffic. Called to 6.
Yeah, I saw some kind of call up there. I don't believe he'd be trying it. Tried the 1 long bank.
Yeah,
I doubt there's a window between the 3 balls here. But there is.
No, there wasn't.
From Wu.
Didn't get the cue ball close enough to the 4 ball for my liking. I think the shot he was playing lent itself for that to be a certain possibility. A little gap has given a few more options for KACI here. Up the 2 rail.
Yeah, look how creative he is, Gethin. I mean, most players would just try to hit this ball 1 rail, but he's looking, he is going to go 1 rail in the end. Shot.
Very nice shot. Purposefully playing for that side of the 1, and at that pace, very difficult to judge. Good cueing. Maybe an edge has leaked for Kunlin here, so an opportunity maybe just to keep screw turned on KACI.
How's the speed? It's looking good. It's dead perfect. Nice shot.
Yeah, a tap on the table from Clenty before that cue ball had even come off the short rail. He knew exactly what was happening there.
Did leave the left long rail here. 4 is blocking a lot of that path. He's going to spin it with some left and make the angle a little wider. Trying to avoid the 4. Shot again. He's covered it decently. Chance for Kunlin to stay in the advantage chair here. Again, like one of these margin calls where he could get aggressive and try the combo. And I think he is thinking about it this time.
Yeah, he needs to be careful that 2 ball doesn't come to cover the resulting shape on the 1. But you pointed out a couple of occasions where Kunlin has maybe erred on the side of precaution. Maybe he feels now 1 set advantage. Can just let the hair down a little.
He's got it, and the cue ball's going to play out nicely. Next question is whether the 5 passes the 6, and Kunlin quickly down to look at that. Definitely not a full pocket there. But again, this is where the 4.25-inch pockets matter compared to the 4-inch pockets. With the rail a decent amount up, if the speed is right.
Well, he always has options to develop the 5-9 cluster, but he's dressing his cue up as if he fancies there's enough room for a bit of a wiggle.
He's going to want to get any kind of angle on the 5 where he can keep the speed down, playing towards the 6. 4 is in a good spot for him to get close to it in a proper angle.
Yep. Can even just take a little bounce off the long rail. And this great opportunity that Kunlin has managed to unpick here. Ooh. He didn't look happy with that.
That's how precise they want to be, Geth, and I was thinking the same thing. He wanted to be straighter here, so he just had a better look at the pocket, but he's still okay.
Maybe, well, he's going to be able to move the 9, which I think he needed to do anyway. He didn't move the 9 as much as I thought.
It's in the worst spot on the table there. Again, the 8 in a good spot to get good on the 9, but he's going to have to get good on it.
Yeah, the benefit being the 10 is nicely dressed up there as well, Eric, so could and should be able to focus purely on the 9.
He could get way outside the box here and try to go into it, but I think it's not worth the risk.
Like you said, it's one of the most dangerous positions to find yourself on the table. He's not going into it. He's taking it on.
Got about perfect. Just has to avoid the point coming past the side pocket.
That will be it. What a fantastic clearance Kunlun was able to make in this opening rack in the second set. And he takes the early lead. And, well, KACI's mountain in front of him is getting a little bit steeper. Each time Kunlun puts a point on the board here, moves need to be made. And while we talk about moves, just having a look out across the other 3 quarterfinals, Max Lechner, Mad Max, the home hopeful, has made a move. He's brought the scoreline back to 1 set apiece. They've just gone on their break. And Mateusz Snegocki was able, as I said, to take that decider against in the opening set. But George Georgiev has responded. He's leading 2-1 in their second set. And the remaining quarterfinal matchup between Oliver Zolnocki, who did take the opening set against the Spaniard Jonas Suto. Well, Jonas has responded. He's on the hill in their second set. Scores are coming in thick and fast. Kunlun, don't believe, was successful from his last break.
Yeah, he's down to 25% overall in the match. Kind of roles reversed at this point, where the first time they met, Eklund struggled on the break but won the match. Again, nothing. And a good open look at the 1 for KACI this time. A lot of balls in the middle of the table on this run out. Just makes maneuvering the cue ball a little tougher. But everything has a pocket.
Yeah, it does. It's just like a little tangle that just needs unraveling. And this, quite a, I was going to say a little difficult opener, purely because coming high on that blue 2, just bring the side pocket into play. And that's what Clenty was just eyeing up.
Yeah, I think he's going to play for the side actually on the 2. And the cue ball movement back towards the 3 is going to be tough.
Well, it looks like he's eyed up a gap around the 7, coming round the rails. I like the way he's played that, Eric, because I felt that 8-5 was always going to be tricky. Found the window. Now, position on the 4 next needed.
Yeah, he's getting through nicely here. First 3 balls weren't easy. But if he gets straight on the 4, you're looking good. Even an angle going up table will be fine. It's good here, Gethin.
Yeah, I was watching that cue ball coming round off the last rail and took a glance out at what's left, and yeah, he's looking really good. Doesn't have to do too much if he can land straight on the 5 into the left side pocket, and just quite a couple of stop shots, and he'll be sitting on the 9 ball. Good response from Kunlun's first rack in this second set.
Yeah, and he hasn't shot offensively much in a good while, losing 5 of the last 6 games. But given a chance, looks like he's going to take full advantage here. That's a big skill, you know, Gethin, and it's something that only world-class players can really know what it is to feel like, because, you know, if you play in a mid-level amateur tournament at your home club, you're shooting almost every second game. There's never a period where you're not shooting offensively for about an hour. But then to just step up and be able to run out when you're called upon, it's a lot tougher than you think.
Yeah, and that's really what was asked of Kunlin in the first set. KACI getting off to a very strong start. Kunlin really not getting out of his chair, but for anything but trouble. Yeah, world-class players. It's incredible how they hold their composure, and it's not just for one match, Eric. It can be for multiple matches over multiple days. As we've seen in our exciting format where shootouts are on the cards, if it's locked up in the third set, there's a lot of energy that can be spent in just one match itself.
Yeah, we've had 2 shootouts this week go to double-digit attempts. Soke against Ruiz, and Van Berkel against, I can't remember the opponent, but they were both around the 25-shot total range. Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, you've only got 20 nails on your fingers and thumbs, thumbs, and toes. And plenty KACI, absolutely, as you mentioned, stepping up and when called upon and delivering, bringing the scoreline back to 1 apiece, very much keeping his second set hopes alive. And he will return to the table with the break. A little look out across the table. Well, not much movement in the scores since we last spoke about it. And just to give you an update on the agenda for today, coming up after this at 4 p.m, it's about an hour and a half from now, we will continue with the Billiards Carrinho Women's Open. We're in the quarterfinal stage there as well. And after that, we will kick off the quarterfinals of the Predator Mixed Doubles Open. And that will be at 7 p.m. local time. And I'll bring you some highlights of the fixtures as we get the opportunity to in this match. But please do visit ProBilliardSeries.com and you'll get the schedule of play, the timings, also the live results, and links to our future events coming up. The next one coming to you from Roma, Italia. Now, Clenti with a must-win second set ahead of him, tied at 1 apiece.
Well, the break's just gone sideways for both players here. After being decently successful in the first 5 breaks, had about 5 now that haven't been successful.
Yeah, it's getting to the hottest part of the day here in the Austrian Alps. And the weather is very temperate and hot. So maybe just small shifts in the humidity. Just changing how the balls react.
Definitely is part of it. And heat will lend to the overall conditions playing a little more sluggish, just non-reactive, which is negative for the break.
Well, just another dimension that these players have to contend with as we get the break statistics up. Eric was alluding to it. Wu sat at 20%, KACI at 40%. So arguably both players not getting the best from it, but eking a slight advantage would be Clenty. Now he's given this back to Kunlin. It's an edge that just needs to be jumped over, and he's marched back to his chair for this jump stick. Good things could come from this if he takes this on. Not guaranteed for the two, but from this camera angle, looks like it's only the edge of the 6, so we could see Kunlin on the offense, calling his extension. Good things can come, Eric, and that's not a bad reward. May see Clenty jump here.
Yeah, back-to-back jumps coming. Create some distance, but he's going to leave it over the top right.
Ooh, has he left enough of it? I was just reminded as I watched KACI throw his extension on the floor. I picked up on a conversation between George Teachea, potentially Ben or yourself, just about how they felt the table stood out against the grey carpet we do have on the calendar, especially stateside. A couple of Larry carpets for our table to contend with. This one, a lot calmer.
It's the first calm one, and I think in about 5 events.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing what you pick up on in the commentating booth, but I was giggling along with them and sharing the sentiment. Now, no visibility on the 1. Well, certainly doesn't look like there's a window between the 7-2. Looks like he's playing short rail with side for a kick and stick.
Yeah, I like that. A few balls to hide behind, but it looks like he's considering the right long rail now. I'm surprised, because the 1's going to tend to play into the 9. He's going to try to come into the side of it where he can play the 1 up the same rail he's kicking off of. I didn't like it. He might have been trying to play the 1 a little thinner. Must not have had the short rail there, Gethin, because that was the better play if he did.
Yeah, it looked like he needed to put a lot of effect on the cue ball. Didn't feel the value was there. Now, not really sold out. Ambitious combination, but a better chance to just freeze that cue ball up against the 9. Or go the other way around.
It's really notable for me how much Kunlin is backing off, especially against such a dangerous player like KACI. You know, you'd have to review back all the different margin calls he's made, and just by a bit of memory here, I think it has worked out well for him overall, but this strategy is dangerous, I'll tell you that. Like, exactly here, you know, it's just that combo was high enough percentage, and it's just an opinion statement, but I think that he has to consider being a little more offensive against a player like KACI.
I think that's really well picked up on, and when we opened up the match, we mentioned these guys have met once in this event already, right at the beginning of the event, and Clenty won in straight sets. I'm just wondering if there's some residuals from that, with a bit of extra respect or fear from Kunlin. But ball in hand, and as you've just said, defensiveness, if not backed up with some reward, can lead to opportunities like this. Is he going for this? I thought he might even be looking for the second foul for a moment. Ah, that's why. Ooh, might not have worked out unless it passes the 10, but he looked to open that cluster straight away, understandably why.
And just one more comment too about the offensiveness from Kun Lin. When you're playing into slightly bigger pockets, it changes those offensive parameters kind of. You know, like you want to be a little bit more aggressive on bigger pockets.
Oh,
something to think about.
That's a nice position shot, Eric.
Yeah, he did well there. Do you think the 7 passes the 8, Gethin? I would say so.
Well, now that 3's out the way, if it does, it's on. Little nubble into the 6. Probably left him still okay on this 4. Plenty will want to take a 1-rack lead here and then keep that lead and retain it to take us through to a 3rd set. This one has been a little tricky pattern left for him, but as each ball drops, it starts to look a lot more achievable. We'll get to find out if the 7 passes, Eric.
Seems to, by the way he's played this pattern. Yeah, he'll be good here.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. You said it.
Yeah.
You said it, Eric,
Okay.
and I was worried that you were going to jinx it, that we have just been having some absolute corker of matches here on table 2. This one really is delivering, and I've got a feeling this second set could go all the way as well.
Straight here, so he's going to have to power up if he wants to get close to the 10. Should be fine either way.
That will work. And this to take a very useful 2-1 lead in this second set race to 4. He has done, Eric, and, well, his set life is very much alive, and he will return to the table for the break in the 4th rack. Just having a quick look out across the tables for some updates. I mentioned the matchup with Oliver Zolnocki and Jonas Suto had gone all square in sets, and Jonas Suto has taken the opener in their 3rd deciding set. Over on table 1, the home hopeful Max Lechner, after bringing it back from 1 set down to 1 set apiece, well, he now trails 2-0 to Felix Vogel. And the other match underway, Matthias Snegocki, who took the opening set against Georgi Georgiev, while they're locked at 2 apiece in their 2nd set. Now, not with the best of break successes, but certainly the better of the two. Plenty catchy to the table. If there was ever a time for a big break and to put yourself on the hill, that would be now. Ball's pocketed is evening itself out a little.
And here he goes from the middle for the first time in this set. He's had enough of the side rail. And watch the power he's going to unleash on this one. Railer down. Nothing on the one, but at least getting back into the successful attempts.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But he felt 2-1 up in a must-win set. It was time for a change, and the change is what he made. That 4-railer going in will give him a little bit of confidence. But not getting shape on the one is now what he needs to contend with, and we've seen him push into jumps before already in this match. I'm thinking he's teeing up the jump bank here.
Yeah, this is the third time either player has pushed into a jump, so just really respecting each other's safe ability.
It just felt like he was putting a bit of bait on the hook and dangling it in front of Kun Lin here. Oh, and he's not going to bite.
Yeah, I like taking this. Look at the wall that he can develop if he gets the cue ball going to the left off the one. And it's not even really about banking it in because position on the 2 is very tough, but you got 7 balls there over on the left side. As long as the cue ball is going to the left here, it's a high percentage. Oh, he didn't even get over the 3. Wow.
Whoa. Now that I didn't expect, and I have to say I'm firmly in camp Eric Hallison there. As soon as that push shot was played, and I'm no jumper of the cue ball by any stretch of the imagination, but I was not going to let my opponent have a go at it, especially after they pushed it there. Challenge accepted.
I'm surprised. Well, again, Geth, and I don't mean to go on about it, but it's just that he's erring into making KACI make offensive mistakes, kind of, if I can word it that way. Like, he's not taking any offensive chances himself. And it's turned out okay a decent amount of the time. Definitely turned out okay on this occasion.
Just making sure he leaves his cue ball on the right line. If he overruns, that 8 could come into play. At least it looks like from this angle. That won't be a problem. Whew. This has really gone like a seesaw in this second set. Nothing to pick between them. And it does look rather appetizing. The 6, though, is not passing the 9, as you can tell from this angle. So Kun Lin now looking to finish just the right side of the 5 to be able to float the cue ball down for the 6 in the top right.
It's got a small angle going to the left here. Should be good.
And this is, in some ways, Well, it's a little bit frustrating when he does take the defensive option because he's got such a high quality offensive game. His cue ball control is magnificent.
Yeah, it's a measured approach, no doubt. And he's definitely keeping himself in the match with this approach so far.
Yeah, and let us not forget, he has come the longer route to this quarter-final. Clenty putting him out in straight sets in his opening round. So every pressure, or all the pressure on every match there, fighting for his tournament life, so to speak. So he's not afraid to turn up when called upon. He's asked a little bit of this 9, just a little bit more than he wanted.
Yeah, following angle's still there, but has to cut it. A more distance than ideal. Looks like he's actually going to draw it. Just cueing low at first.
Done.
With authority.
With authority indeed, Eric. 2-2. He is not wanting this match to go to a third set at all. Whether or not he'll get much say in that. He'll be back to the table with the break, so we'll certainly have the first thing to say. Having a quick look out. Quick update on the scores. Felix Vogel in their deciding set is 2-1 up now against Max Lechner over on table 1. Mateusz Snigocki on the hill in the second set there. He only needs to win this set to complete that match, but George Georgiev is on 2 racks. Oliver Zolnocki, Jonas Suto locked at 1 apiece in their deciding set. And coming up, it will be after this, 4 o'clock, just over an hour from now, the Billiards Carrinho women's quarterfinals. If I get the opportunity to, I'll bring you the full listings for the 4 matches there. But until then, just set your alarm clocks for 4 o'clock, please, local time. We'll be bringing you 3 tables of live action, 2 with commentating. Kunlun to break. Who will get to the hill first in this second set?
There's a ball down. And it's going to be tight on the 1. I don't think he has it. To get another angle here.
Maybe. Maybe.
Looks better from this angle. Oh, it's tight. I mean, that's the best one we've got, but I would say he has it, so a chance for Kunlun to stay on offense here.
Yeah, every chance to come through past the 7 to leave the 3.
He's got to get them.
Oh. Big opening shot, Eric. That table is now blossoming like spring.
There's room to avoid the 6 and the 10 coming around 2 rails.
He's gonna swing around the back, avoid the 10. Nothing KACI can do. Sat in his chair, Eric. Kunlin picking his moment at the right time, I reckon.
Yeah, he's been persistent with that same breaking location. It's finally paid off here. He did have a break-in run in the first set, even though being on low overall percentage. And as you said, what a timely spot here to get on the hill.
Now, it looked like he'd fallen a little bit straight on this 7, but from this angle looks like he's got enough to work with. Oh, the 8's lurking up there still, of course. I had completely put that to the side of my mind and was looking at the 9-10. This looking very good to Kunlin, taking the hill first in this second set. He only needs this set to take the match as well. He'll put one foot into the semi-finals, you have to feel, Eric.
Yeah, he'll be feeling good about the last break, and he'll be looking to lock KACI out here.
Oh, he does indeed. He does indeed. Taking the hill first. 3-2 with the break. And I mentioned at 4 o'clock, just over an hour from now, we will move into the Billiards Carrinho Women's Open quarterfinals. Matches lining up there are as follows. Sosoa against Pia Filler on table 1. Shasha Liu is taking on Weiwei, Chu Chim Wei on table 2. Johann is taking on Zhang Muyan, an all-Chinese matchup on T3. And the other match will be Jasmine Ushan on the outside table, taking on the Japanese player Chihiro Kawahara. Some big matches coming up there. The winner of this match will move through to the semi-finals, and they will take place tomorrow. The men's semi-finals at 3, the women's earlier at 11, and the men's doubles in the early evening, 7 p.m. local time. Now, Kunlin Wu with a 3-2 lead, and he leads 1-0. This visit to the table could be for the match.
Huge pop on the cue ball. Not this time, though, and it's not over yet, Gethin.
Oh, no, Eric, it's not. That 10 ball was threatening the side pocket too. A lot of venom in that shot. That cue ball bopped right up in the air, landed on its spot. Couldn't have really hit it any better from that perspective. KACI to the table. Good look at the 1. 7-9's a bit of trouble, but if he's going to do something, this could be the best time to do it.
Yeah, he's going to have to figure out what to do with the 4 as well. He can combo the 3 into the 10 and get the 3 near the 4. But not really going to be able to focus on the breakout until he gets something on the 4. Tough out here.
That was very KACI-esque thinking of you there, Eric. Playing the 2 off the 10 or the 3 off the 10. I like that option.
Yeah, you're right. He could go, 3 off the 10, yeah.
And don't forget both these players in quarterfinal action next as well. At 7 p.m. this evening, we'll have the Predator Mixed Doubles Open quarterfinals. Both Clenty and Kunlin appearing in that. Now, this is the moment, Eric.
Well, there's a way outside the box two shot where he guarantees making the 10 on a combo, and he tries to run the cue ball into the 7. He's having a look. Ugh, he's tempted. He knows it's dangerous. I don't know.
I like it with some top right spin, perhaps, and good things can come. That 7-9 needs to be dealt with, to be fair, Eric.
Yeah, and exactly. And the problem is, if he doesn't do it now, it's going to be tough to do later. And get position on another ball. He backed off, though. Just a little too wild, and the 3's gone wrong.
Yeah, that should be end of visit, in my view. I can't imagine he can muscle up anything from here other than look to go safe. He was just hoping for that 3 to be hanging out enough to have options.
Yeah, it was a good plan. Just caught the 10 a little thinly. 3 ball played off too much. Oh, he caught the points with the 3, and the cue ball's going to have to get good, and it's not. Still a very tough table for Kunlin, but never expected the 3 to end up where it did there.
4 is available to the bottom right if he can get the cue ball back up into an area not far from where it is now. But in every shot he plays, Eric, that 7-9 becomes that little bit more treacherous.
Good shot. How's it going to end up? Almost into the 9. It actually brushed it, Gethin. Wow.
That would have been incredible if he'd have just knocked it out the way. What an attempt. And still has shape on this 4.
Yep, they're going to jockey around for a bit now. Sevens ended up in a way where even if you get below it, it's tough to play safe off of it. Not impossible.
Oof. Tell you what.
Even, yeah, he might get ball in hand here. Good 10 from KACI. Not there.
Ooh.
And all focus will be on opening up that 7-9 now. Believe it or not, it might be a combo play again into the 6-10. There's got to be something better, though.
Well, he's keeping me guessing because there is nothing textbook out there. Second foul is what he's looking for. Ooh.
Defensive again, Gethin. Just really not giving an inch. But as I said, letting a player like KACI back to the table is dangerous.
Okay. Not going to work. Needed to be played so gently, that one, Eric. Can he flick into the 7 here?
I think he can. There's risk. Oh, he's going to back off again.
Yeah, playing left-handed. I mean, Plenty could return the favour here, playing across the table, coming into the 4 on the high side. Cue ball may take a favourable bump onto the 7 and lock behind the 9.
That's what he's going for here. Surprised he hit so hard.
With the shot clock breathing down his neck, Eric. It was down to 2, I think.
Yeah, Kunlin can go behind the 7-9 now, and again trying to move the 7 and stay behind them. He has, and it's open now. And he's gained the advantage.
Yep. Definitely advantage Kunlin here. KACI's jumping over this 9. Hold on to your seats, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Not gonna get there.
However, no, Eric.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, great control on that cue ball. It stopped on a dime, but the 4 kept rolling.
Yeah, and after a bunch of safe play, Kunlin's going to have the first chance at the match win here.
Ooh, he
No one
tried to
expected
play
that.
that. He was playing it thick, Eric, to just avoid any chance of the cue ball misbehaving with the 10 where it was. He asked a bit too much of the side pocket there, and oof, an unexpected twist. And that was, as you said, that was Kunlin's real first good look at taking the match as well. Disappointing.
And his first missed ball in a long time. I'm actually going to look up his overall missed shots in the match. It's very low. Really thought. He's on 4 now, but it seems like he hasn't missed one in a long time.
No, and I think a couple of them were very, very low percentage as well. Now, as you pointed out, 7-9 cluster no longer a problem, but where that 8 ball is, a bit of due care and attention needed for position play.
Yeah, biggest risk here is coming up short. It is just a little on the straight side. KACI not afraid of these power-up shots. He's good here.
Yeah, he is. He is indeed. Ooh. Are we brewing up nicely to a second hill decider in our second set, Eric?
Yeah, close match. just taking full care here. Likely coming back for the side. Confident enough to play it in the corner. That'll be fine.
Second set's going all the way, isn't it, Eric? Oh my, indeed it is, and KACI still is in this match. He has to win this next rack. Otherwise, he will be exiting the tournament, and Kunlin will be back tomorrow for the semi-final. What can KACI say about that? It's a little bit quiet out there at the moment. I'll give you an update now on the other tables. First of all, we have a result in from our table 3 match. Oliver Zolnocki has taken the decider there, and he's beaten Jonas Suto 2-1. He will book the first place in tomorrow's semi-finals. Max Lechner currently trailing 2-3 in the deciding set against Felix Vogel there. Felix on the hill. That one's getting right down to the wire. And George Georgiev 1-0 up in the deciding set against the Polish player Mateusz Smigocki. Well, if I had fingernails, Eric, they would be gone. This is a thriller.
Yeah, I think KACI's going to try to unleash another bomb from the middle here. He was successful on his last time from the middle. And here he is.
A little bit of movement in the crowd as well. People moving over to this table. That would suggest the result over on the other table. I'm not going to say anything about that. Big break in the second set. KACI 3 locked up at 3-3 in a must-win second set for him.
Oh, he's lost the cue ball. And the table's pretty wide open, as it usually is, breaking from the center. So all chances now for Kunlin to take the match down. I think it was directly in, Gethin. I don't think it got kicked in there.
I don't think so either. And for all of the moments that we've passed comment about Wu's shot selection, or rather tactic selection, I will not imagine he is going to consider anything defensive in this layout presented to him here.
Yeah, and really, it just showed a lot of discipline how he played a lot of those 50-50 situations. Not afraid to go toe-to-toe in the tactical department, and I believe he got the better of it. Most times he did favor the defensive side.
No, I agree.
It's a little short, but he's still makeable on the side. It's okay here.
He is. He doesn't want to overrun the cue ball in case it starts heading towards the 10-5, but can't imagine that would be the case. And then doesn't want to bring the 10 into play for his shaper on the 5. But coming out of his chair, he couldn't have dreamt of a better opportunity to take this second set and the match.
It's on the thin side of the 5. Still all right. It's good, actually. Have to cross the angle position now. 7 might only be available to the bottom right. If it is available to both bottom pockets, angle on the 6 won't be as important.
Ooh,
Short.
Doesn't want that to give up. Ooh.
He's feeling the finish line here, Gethin.
I don't blame him at all. There is $125,000 in the prize pool, Eric. $37,500 for first prize. That's what both these players are really fighting for. Real nice prize pot. Fully understand the pressure. He's left himself this trickier six than intended, but fully anticipate him to make it. Where's the cue ball? It's... Ooh.
He's good.
He is. It looked like it was going to run into the 8 and take all the energy out of the cue ball. But somewhat recovered.
Not afraid to spin the ball there either. Bunch of left spin needed to get to where he got to. Just stumbling around slightly, but getting through it. 2 balls left.
Well, the way KACI opened up this match, it looked like it was going to be a real tough day at the office for Kunlin, and his persistence with patience really has paid off, and KACI has shaken hands with Kunlin early on that 10, and a big congratulations. He has taken his place in the semi-finals, which will take place tomorrow.